So I'm going to call them out. And I love you guys, but my mom and my oldest daughter are terrified of confrontation. They're scared to speak up for themselves and have dealt with a lot of BS because of it. So whether they watch or not, do you have any actionable tips and tricks for them to move past that?
Sure. I'm happy to help. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Like I said before, it all boils down to fear of the unknown. So the narrative in their head very likely goes something like, if I speak up, others may feel hurt. If others feel hurt, they may leave. If others leave, I'll lose my family or support system or friend or life purpose or whatever they see them as. So I'll just shut up, avoid confrontation, and deal with what I know. And what I know is repression. But since it's known, happy to do it. You know what they're not happy to do? Try anything else because it's unknown.
Yes.
And so you see that people will stop experimenting or stop trying solutions or stop applying themselves with any effort. Because once they found something that's known, it's comfortable and familiar, and they'll just stay in it till their dying day. So this is what we want to solve. And since we understand that gaining knowledge, even false knowledge of some kind or half-assed knowledge or not quite complete knowledge, removes fear, then this is where they need to start. Now, there's another scale. There's a scale of knowledge. The lowest end of the scale of knowledge is imagining something. You don't know what's going to happen when you express yourself to your partner or your family or your daughter or whatever, but you can imagine it, and it's effortless. Like, it takes almost zero effort to imagine something. You can do it with no time, no money, no energy, no resources, no supplies. You can do it from your bed, from your couch, on the ground, in a forest. It's the lowest effort possible. But it still takes a little bit of effort, though. Some people even refuse to imagine things. Even though as a kid, our imaginations were crazy powerful, and it's how we dealt with everything. We used them all the time. But say there's a confrontation looming, and I'm interested in beating my fear of it. I'm interested in being more loving, having a more loving approach to it, having more love in my life, and being the kind of person who can handle confrontation. The most toe in the water step, like the babiest of baby steps, is to imagine what's going to happen in that confrontation. Imagine me saying something, imagine them saying something back. If I don't like it, imagine myself saying something nicer and kinder or a different approach or different angle. Imagine them saying something back. Imagine them responding nicer. Just get familiar, get knowledge of some potential ways this could play out. You could also imagine the worst case scenario. Well, worst case, they're going to yell at me and leave, and we'll have to make up later, a year later or something like this, or they'll not talk to me for 10 years and it'll be a chapter in my book where I didn't talk to them for 10 years. Like, you can imagine all of these things. Generally, it's better practice to imagine the most positive outcomes possible, but even becoming familiar with the worst case scenario is quite helpful. If you can imagine that, well, I guess I might die, but I'm going to try this, you're already a step ahead of most people, right? Because you're at peace with the worst outcome. Or even if I'm totally alone and I have to find all new family and friends, at least I'm at peace. Like, this could happen, right? It's far more powerful than just sticking with repression and fear.
Yeah.
The person who can step up to confrontation, even if the worst case scenario happens, is automatically more powerful than the one who can't even handle confrontation in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Secondly, if you're past the toe in the water stage and you've imagined the confrontation a few times, you can start journaling, because journaling is a great way to express your feelings in a safe environment. So these people, they have some feelings and they sit on them or repress them or suppress them to avoid confrontation. But this just creates more and more pain and trauma. If they express them in an email to themselves or in a journal or a notebook that they burn afterwards or delete afterwards, this is huge, because now they've gotten their feelings out. Plus, anytime you write something out, you write your own words out, you automatically become more articulate. You could try this with anybody. You can have them express something from their head, then have them go write the same thoughts or expression or whatever, and then talk to them about it again, and they'll automatically speak far more precisely and articulately and well about the topic. And so you're kind of preparing yourself for a great confrontation that goes smoothly, because you've got your points down and you've ordered them well and you've gotten your feelings out and you're not so attached to it and they're not all clogging up your head and your emotions. They've become ordered and organized and smooth on the paper, and you've had to edit them and rewrite them and choose different words. And so now You've imagined the confrontation going a few different ways, dipping your toe in the water. You've journaled the confrontation or your feelings about the issue, getting them out and getting them ordered. It's like swimming in the shallow end with water wings. And then the best practice that anyone can do to get rid of fear of the unknown around confrontation is to go have some confrontations. Practice.
Practice.
Y'all are grown-ups, man. Y'all can't have a confrontation.